Today I'll be showing a trapping progression into a double leg takedown. Alright, so before we get started, let's talk about the trapping progression, okay? So there's two variables that we're gonna go over today. One is gonna be the inside pock, and one is gonna be the outside pock. And if you haven't watched a video that we posted previously, make sure you click the link right here. We're gonna be showing you more of the variations in the future as well, okay? So, what we're gonna talk about is you can do these variations based on your positions, right? I can put my right side forward, or I can put my left side forward. Now just remember, these are the basic training, just understand the coordination and the muscle memory. All the drills that we're doing right now, it's nothing but condition your body to understand the mechanics and of course the coordination. So, the first thing I need to talk about is the range for the striking, right? I should never be in a range when he can reach my face with his hand, right? I'm always gonna be one step away, just like that. Because when I trap his hand, I should not be too close to his body, because if I have already let his body come close to me like this, I have basically made a lot of mistake so that his body is so close to me, right? So the first thing we gotta talk about is the range of positions, right? When I trap, I need to shuffle my body forward. At the same time, I strike. This is the first variation, which is you trap the hand down, and you can do a hammer fist, you can do a straight punch, you can do a back fist, or you can do a straight palm strike, just like that, right? Now we're gonna talk about the two variables that I was showing earlier today. Number one is, he checks my hand on the middle, right? Anytime he checks my hand on the middle, I'm gonna open my tongue out like that. You'll notice how this hand is still maintain posture. From here, when I drop my elbow down, my center line should be aligned with his head. Now from here, this hand right here is gonna trap like that. The same as I trap, I'm gonna drive my hip forward. So that way I can either do a palm strike or a punch to the chest. So again, I hit, I open the hand, and I strike, just like that. So I'll do it slow. Hit, number one. Number two, I open the palm, just like that. You notice my elbow distance is right here. I don't let my elbow flare. I want to make sure my elbow's in. Because as soon as I drop my elbow down, it changes the rotation on his wrist. From here, notice how my hand, right here, I can easily reach the rear hand, right? So now I'm going to let the hand come over, trap. Remember, trapping doesn't mean I'm going to stop his hand. It just means that I'm going to temporarily to monetize and then, of course, slow his motions down. So what I need to do is I want to trap his hand for a split second. Once I have a split second open, I can strike again. So number one is you hit, you open, and you strike. Okay, so again, hit, open, and you strike. Notice on my hand, I don't go to the eyes. Training-wise, I want my palm to go to the forehead, okay? Do not let your partner try to do this to your eyes or maybe strike to the head, okay? This is very dangerous. So what I do is I trap, I open, and I strike to the forehead. Number two, I do the same thing, but this time, he's gonna give me energy that crosses the center line. So instead of trapping my hand on the center, he's gonna push my hand off the center line. And that happens, I'm gonna do what we talked about previously. I wedge my bottom hand through. Notice I trap his hand, and I strike on the outside of his arm. So again, I trap, open, and I hit, open, strike. Again, number one, I hit, I open on the outside, I strike. Number one, I hit, I open on the inside, I strike. So that's the two variations that we can talk about. Now, you don't have to stick to the format of a palm strike, because really, I can hit with a punch. I can hit with a buji to the eyes. This is called a finger jab, right? You can touch his eyes, right? But for training, we always use a palm, just for safety reasons, right? I can go to the outside. I can go to the inside. Now we can talk about the follow-ups, right? There's a lot of different follow-ups depending on the range. You have your hand, which is the third variation. Second variation will be closer, which is the elbow. And the last variation, which is going to be your primary, which is going to be your shoulder. So when I hit number one, you can strike through with the rear hand. You can punch like that. Or you can strike into a throat like that before you punch. Or you can strike into the eyes like that before you punch. These are the rear hand sequence, right? I can go number one, which is the punch first. Now notice how this hand is still maintained. I want to drive my body through before I strike. Number two, he checks my hand. I'm going to strike into the throat, and then I add in a punch. Number three is I'm going to shoot my hand through the eyes before I trap, right? You can do the same thing on the outside. I shoot one, I can trap. Two, I shoot my hand forward to the throat, and then I punch. You notice how the hand, if he stops my hand, I can do a lob as well, right? But let's stick everything to a pot. Number one, I hit, I open, I strike. Number two, I hit, I open, I strike. Adding variations, I hit, I open, and I strike one more time. I hit, I open, I strike to the body. Now let's say that I'm adding to a double leg or single leg, or maybe a variations of an armbar, right? What I can do is my head's open, I strike. You notice how the hand goes in. Watch my elbow from here. You can do a vertical upward elbow to the body, or you can do straight into the head like that. This will buy me time. Once I get here, I'm gonna drop my body. Notice how my both hands are control. I'm gonna pull this body forward. The same time my lead leg is gonna shoot right through, just like that. I wanna pull the head and body over my shoulder. From here, he's resting on my shoulder like that. From here, I'm gonna collapse my hand behind his legs, lift by dropping his body low. You notice I still control both of his legs. From here, I'm gonna move my body. And you can battle punch right through the stomach or right through into the groin like that. These legs right here potentially open for leg locks, right? But for now, we're just gonna talk about striking and then evasion, okay? So, one more time. The first shot is I hit, I open, I strike. You notice how the motion goes like that. Once I get here, pull his body over, collapse your hand together like so. Lift. Do not try to pick him up because I'm not strong enough like that. I want his body weight go on my shoulder. From here, I push my head forward, reach, boom, drop him down. The moment he goes down, you can battle punch or elbow, strike, whatever you want, okay? All right, so one last time. Engagement, I can enter one, trap, you can elbow, pull, shoot my body through. Notice how my head stays high, collapse your hand, lift, drop him right here. Back fist, and battle punch or elbow to the groin, okay? So last time we're gonna recap, okay? You can engage doing this. I trap. From here, I'm gonna trap in. Notice how this hand shoots, trap, elbow, pull, boom, right here. I'm using this hand to pull this body forward. When his body was over my shoulder, I know he's off balance. Then I just lift him, drop him, battle punch, or even step up, stomp, right? Then from here, disengage from the fights, okay? Like I said, for trapping purposes, you can start with the right hand like this. You can also start with the left hand like this. There's no wrong way of doing the trapping unless you're doing the trapping like this, right? You don't want the hand to fly out too wide. So hand stays tight, I trap, engage. Then from here, I want to monitor both of his hands before I enter, just like that. So again, 1, 2, 3, enter. Then from here, you can do single leg, double leg. Sometimes we'll do a figure 4, right? You can trap into the control for a choke, okay? If you like the video today, please don't forget to subscribe and hit a comment below, and I'll see you guys next week.